Um, who did the most exciting thing over the break? Anyone get married, get engaged, have a kid, bungee jump, swam around the world? Who stayed home and did nothing? Who binged Netflix? There we go. Hey. So, who traveled the furthest over the break? Anyone go out of the country? Right, who? And no one went out of the country? Okay. Anyone get out of the state? Where'd you go?
I just went to Colorado. I'm hoping next year I'll be able to go back to New Jersey now.
Yeah, Colorado's part way to New Jersey. What part of Colorado?
Grand Junction, if you've heard of it, it's pretty much basically like extended Utah.
Yeah, I know where it is. It's interesting to come from Grand Junction. As you drive from Colorado on I-70 this way, you're in Colorado, and the trees start getting more and more sparse. And you finally pass the last tree, and then there's the "Welcome to Utah" sign. It's like someone went out like, "There's no trees past here. We don't want any of it, and Utah can have the rest." It's really interesting. I don't know if it's exactly that, but it seemed like that one day when I was driving that. It's been years. So, what part of Colorado did you go to, Michelle? Colorado Springs. Yeah, both over there. All right, who went further than Colorado? Where'd you go? San Antonio. Very nice. I've been there a couple times. It is all right. So, who went further than San Antonio? Florida. Great. Yeah, I went to Ohio for Thanksgiving, and that was a pretty long drive. But did you drive to Florida?
Well, we drove to Florida from Georgia.
Oh, well, you still flew most of the way. Next summer, we're going to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and we might end up driving the whole way. So it'd be kind of crazy if we do. I have a big family, so it's still worth it. It saves us a lot of money to drive rather than to buy 10 plane tickets. So, okay. All right, well, let's get started. Who'd like to start us off with a prayer? Sydney, do you want to? Thanks. Is it Sydney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dearly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you that we can all be able to have a wonderful break and be able to gather again to learn more about math, and please us that we'll be able to have a spirit as we learn and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sydney. It's hard to tell with the mask on. So, oops. So, I'm Brother Corey. I've been here for 14 years. I'm in the math education department. I'm not in the math department, although some people think I should be in the math department. But so my research is in math ed. My PhD is in math ed. But in my heart, I'm more like a mathematician. Other ways, I'm more like an engineer. So kind of a weird duck. I taught linear algebra last semester. That was the first time I taught. I've already learned a lot. Hopefully I'll give you guys a better experience than my students got last time. So this is the Michelle. She's the TA for this class. There's another TA. His name's Sam. He's the TA for the next class. So I teach 2 classes back to back. This 4 o'clock and then the next 5 o'clock. They will have office hours. We will get those hours out to you. You're welcome to go to either person's office hours. So you guys are really lucky because a lot of there is one TA hired to cover all of the linear algebra classes, and then I have 2 others just for our class. So we're giving you plenty of help. So please use them. Okay. Otherwise, it's wasted money. How many former students do I have here? So I saw Sydney. Okay, what's your name? Heather. What did I have you for in? Calculus. Okay, Heather. Okay, anyone else? Yes. What's your name? James. Did you have me for Calc too? Calc also?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay. So James. Okay, James, Heather, and Sydney. Okay. Well, welcome to your former students. I hope I get better with time. We'll see. That should give you guys some faith that at least 3 of my former students decided to take me again. So if I had more money to bribe people, maybe I could have got more, but you know. So what I'm going to do is I want to go around and meet each one of you, okay, learn your names and where you're from. But I'm going to give you a little task to do while I do that. So, so the first thing you're going to do is try to get to know the people around you, learn their names, you can learn where they're from. You can write down their names, so if you have questions, you can go to Learning Suite, look them up, and send them an email, okay? So we do have seats over here, plenty of seats. And next, I have this little activity. First, how many of you have started reading the Peanut Butter Book or Section 1.1, either of those? Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, so it looks like if you haven't, your neighbor has, so they can start to fill you in. Oh, thanks. The idea of vectors, which is where we start this class, is really vectors are they're packets of quantities. In the Peanut Butter Book, as you know, I start off using the example of nutritional facts for servings of food. Okay, so this task is for you to think about nutritional facts as a serving of food for vectors u and v. You can pick 2 different foods. And you're going to try to make sense of what the algebraic properties of vectors are in terms of those. So that first u plus v equals v plus u, well, if I have a serving of food u and a serving of food, then a serving of food v, my body intakes the same nutritional content as a serving of food v and then a serving of food u. Right? That shouldn't make a difference. At least what I take in. I don't know about the body chemistry and other stuff, but at least what goes in our mouth, we're good. So you got to do stuff like that. Property D is a little gross, but you can get over it. And if you get through with the foods, you can make sense of all those with foods, then you can also try using it with forces or arrows on a coordinate system. Okay, so any questions about what you're going to do while I go around and try to learn people's names? Okay, all right, so start by meeting your neighbors and then doing that. So, oh yeah, and yeah. Okay. All right, I'll start with you guys. All right, I'll forget them tomorrow, but at least I knew your names once. It does help if you sit in the same spot or pretty close. Also, since I started over here, I tend to know these people's names better than the ones over there. But in class, as we go along, if you raise your hand, if you have a question, I'd like you to say your name so it'll help to keep things fresh. So by the end of the semester, I know the people who keep commenting in class or asking questions. I forget all the rest sometimes. Okay, where are we at? Okay, very quickly, does someone have a comment on B here? Why is U plus V together plus W the same as U plus V plus W together? Anyone? In terms of food? Yes, Isaiah. And the first. Okay, very nice. I actually forgot. We have people online. I never met the Zoom people. So you want to pull those up, Michelle? Do I have to stop sharing? Okay, and let me unmute here. Okay, so looks like we have Danny, Chris, and Spencer. Danny, do you want to say hi? Okay, there's Danny.
How's it going?
All right. Hi, Danny. Where are you from?
So I'm actually from Paris, France, but I've lived in Utah for most of my life too.
Oh, very cool. You speak French?
Yes, I do.
Very nice. I do not. So 2 years of
we can fix that.
And all I can remember how to say is like cheese and bathroom. So, okay. Danny.
There you go.
Okay, Chris. You want to say hi?
Yeah, hello.
Where are you from, Chris?
From Sandy.
Sandy?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome. Nice to meet you, Chris. And Spencer, do you want to say hi?
Hi, I'm Spencer. I'm from Mapleton, Utah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, thank you, Spencer. So Spencer, Chris, and Danny. Hope you guys can make it soon to class. Okay, so let's get back to sharing a screen. All right, so you eat a food and then you don't eat anything, you just have the food that you ate. That's pretty straightforward. I almost don't want to say this one, but you know, you eat the food and then you like throw up the food, the serving of food, and you're back to getting no nutrients. So it should be plus an awful taste in your mouth or something like that. But, okay, how about E? Anyone, any group come up with something nice on E where it has a constant times the quantity U plus V equals C times U plus C times V? Philip, here, I'm going to come back there so people can hear you comment.
Well, so like if we imagine U and V are different foods, C is just going to be like a different number of like serving of that food. And so like what we talked about is like celery and carrots. It's the same as like if you imagine two groups of like celery and carrots. It doesn't matter if you eat whatever C number of those groups separately or if you just jumble them all together, it's the same.
Yeah, so if you make a food with the celery and carrots to make one food and have C of those, it's the same as having C of the first, C of the second. Very nice. Okay. I think the other ones, I don't think we'll take time to go through the other ones. Hopefully you get the idea. We have some other logistic stuff, boring stuff to do. So, okay. All right. So just want to do a quick overview of things. That some of this is stuff that I've emailed out, but I know some people have recently joined the class. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. There's a syllabus. It's on Learning Suite. Please get on and read it before the next class. Come with any questions that you have. Really, you probably have a week or so to read the syllabus, but to make sure that you know what you're getting into, you should read it early. So try to do it before the next class. That's where the instructions are to join the online homework system, so the WebAssign. That's also something you want to do before the next class. Do not buy anything on the Cengage/WebAssign website. They will try to get you to buy stuff. Don't buy it. So when you get on the online homework system, follow the instructions. You will get billed through BYU. It's about $70. That includes the online homework system plus an electronic version of the textbook. So you do not have to buy a physical copy of the textbook. Okay. Any questions about that so far? Okay. So linear algebra can be hard. We're trying to get you all the help that you could use. So there is a general 213 TA. We'll get his office hours posted. We have Michelle and Sam. So we have two TAs just for this class. They will have office hours. I have office hours every day from 9:30 to 10:30. They're on Zoom. If you go to Learning Suite, oh, come on. Is there a way to move the tab down there? Okay, so if you go to our class, if you go to Learning Suite here and go to Content, then there is a page that's showing more than you guys will be able to see. Yeah, so there's Zoom links for office hours in class. So if you click on that, then it has the link for all of the TA's office hours. I don't think we have Michelle's up yet, but yeah. But you want to come to my office hours, you go here, you get on the Zoom, and I'll hopefully be there. So this is also where the peanut butter book is, and some other stuff we'll talk about in a second. Okay. So there is a math lab. It's virtual. There's virtual and in person. We'll send out information about that. Did you guys get an email about that? Okay, good. If you didn't get an email, email it to me and I'll forward the email, because I think they tried to send it to everyone in the class. Use your fellow students. For me, it was a lot more fun to do homework together, and I know it's a little harder. I know that's a little bit harder to do right now with the COVID restrictions, but and if you don't learn any more from your fellow students, at least you can have fun making fun of your teacher or something. So, okay, and we'll get more information as things come out for you. Just a reminder, there are sanitary wipes at the back, so you can sanitize your seats. I think there should be one on each side here when you come in the doors. Try to stay 6 feet apart. Stay home if you're sick or have any symptoms, so you can Zoom in. Keep your mask on, etc. Okay, please come to class, unless you have to be away due to COVID things. So you can think of class attendance as being required, although it's not really required just because of COVID stuff. Usually I don't require it. Usually I offer extra credit for really high attendance, but because I know lots of people are, because of the COVID situation, we're not doing that this semester. So, okay, just in general, the structure of class, you're going to do stuff before class, then we will have class, and then you're going to have some to do after class for each section. So generally, before you come to class, you're going to read the section in the textbook. This semester, I'm writing up some notes to go along with each section, things to pay attention to. There are some parts of the sections that you don't have to know, so I'll try to let you know about those, so you don't have to spend time studying that. So you're going to read the section, you're going to watch an instructional video, and then you're going to do the online homework. The instructional videos, the ones I take the lecture slides that most of the other teachers use, and I go through them quite quick. So usually it takes me 20 to 25 minutes to do their 50-minute thing. So I know that's going to seem really fast for some of you. That's okay. Others, you're going to put it on high speed and you're going to get a 50-minute lecture in 12 minutes, and that's fantastic. So you can pick it up that way. But I'll talk a little bit more about why we're doing it this way in a moment. And if after doing those things, or while you're reading, or while you have questions from the video, questions from the homework that you're not able to solve, then you can certainly ask questions before you come to class, especially if you're just really confused. Try to get help before you come to class. So then during class, we'll start off by asking questions, things that you struggled with. We'll kind of sometimes we'll do a brief review, a brief recap of what you should know, and then hopefully we'll be able to dive deeper. Some of the harder sections, it'll really just be a recap of trying to make sure we understand what's going on. And then after class, you have the written homework due. The written homework is on Learning Suite. Oops. You can go to the schedule and click on the section, then it lists the items from the book that you're supposed to do. We're not collecting homework on 1.1, the written homework on 1.1, but you should look and make sure you know how to do it and get help if you have questions. The written homework will be uploaded on Gradescope, and we're still getting that set up. So, yes.
Quick question. On the schedule that we're looking at, the things there, like on Monday it says 1.1, 1.2. Does that mean that on Monday that's what we're going over, or is that what we're going over next?
That means that's what we're going over.
Okay.
Although we're not really covering any of 1.2 today. It's really 1.2 is all of next time. Other teachers will start 1.2 today, but they don't try to learn everybody's names. So it's a sacrifice. We have to kind of cram 1.2 in later. Good question. Other questions so far? Yes, Bethany.
So Monday and Wednesday, the online homework is due, written homework, or when is the written homework?
So the written homework's due before class the next period. Yeah. Yeah. So like after. So like in preparation for 1.2, Tuesday, sorry, it's Wednesday. Last time I taught Tuesday, Thursday. So you would read 1.2, you'd watch the 1.2 video, and you would you do the 1.2 online homework, and then you would also do the 1.1 written. So you got kind of 3 things in preparation for the class that's coming up, and the 1 thing for the last. That's typically how it runs. Once we get past this first week or 2, well, that's how it'll be. Yeah. Yep, that's right. And during class, I'll come in and I'll write what'll be due next time on that whiteboard right over there. So every day. I have it on a slide this time. Okay. And please get help if you're struggling. Please come get help. Please ask questions. Please get online. It took a few weeks before people really tried using the online Zoom hours that we had set up last time. And then once people started using it, some of them were just consistently on. It really helped them. So it's like one-on-one tutoring. Like be the first one to get on, and then like it seriously have sometimes I'd spend 45 minutes with one person helping them on Zoom, and he was getting his tuition's worth. You know, I'd like to think I'm that good that he's getting his tuition. I mean, I wasn't trying to brag or anything. I was just saying like it was, nice one-on-one situation. Okay, so this is a different structure of the class. Usually you listen to the lecture, and then you go do online homework. I'm sorry, if you go do homework afterwards. This is different. It is different. But I think there are enough advantages to make it worth doing this. We've had quite a bit of positive feedback about this, some negative feedback. It's not perfect, of course. Some of the advantages, it provides a more flexible learning environment. So instead of making everyone sit through a 50-hour lecture, 50-hour, yeah, we don't make you sit through a 50-hour lecture. Aren't you guys happy about that? A 50-minute lecture, you can start doing the learning more quickly, a little bit more at your pace. You can go back on the video to catch things. We have supplemental videos, so if you need more videos, you can watch. You get to try stuff out. You have multiple times on the WebAssign to answer questions, so you get to learn that way. So hopefully you can make it to work for you. You get to come to class with questions. Usually, students, if they have questions in the class, they don't even ask them, but please ask them if you have questions. Okay, but the larger the class gets, the less likely students are to ask questions. But please, we'd love this to be a class where it's okay to ask questions. But you get to come to class already having tried to learn the material and engage with the material, and so you'll have better questions coming to class. And it allows us to free up some in-class time to go deeper, to answer your questions, and to do what I think is the much more interesting and important stuff. The math department doesn't believe in, well, let me say it this way. To a mathematician, real life is just one of many different scenarios, and it's not that interesting. So, all of the sections in the textbook that we're asked to cover, none of them are application sections. Even though the mathematics of those sections, a lot of them are very important applied mathematics. But the textbook doesn't use any contextualized anything. A lot of you are in 215. That's awesome. So you'll get some of that in 215, but only about 60% of the people in these classes take 215. And so linear algebra is really an applied science. I heard one math professor claim, it's probably the most applied math used on campus. I mean, it's just used all of the time. And I feel bad if you guys take a linear algebra class and we don't ever do anything in a context. You don't understand how these ideas impact being in a context. So, Philip, do you have a question?
Yeah, just with, if you're taking 215 along with this, how much do they like go from
They do a pretty good job. I'm not super familiar with 215. I haven't taught it. I've looked at some of the labs that they do, but they do a pretty good job of letting you learn or first get introduced to the material here before you dive into it there. So, was that your experience, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of coding stuff. If you don't know how to code stuff, that could be hard. But I think they have Cs specifically for that class, and so
Yeah.
It kind of helps them the applications you're able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of that class. I think it's fantastic. I wish you could all take it. But we're going to use, yeah, we have a few things to finish up. I'll have to move on and get off my soapbox. But so we'll do some of the application stuff in class and talk about what things mean in a context. There are some disadvantages. It's a little bit more responsibility for you to be learning. If you have a question while you're watching the video, you don't have the professor right there to ask the question to. So you've got to take a note and email the professor or the TA or whatever, try to get it answered sometime. So you've got to schedule it to get it done. I mean, there is that you need to do. I think actually that is a good thing. Well, for Elder Bednar in his last conference talk, he mentioned at the very beginning of his talk, he tried to do two things as a professor. The first thing he said was his goal was to help students learn how to learn. And the second one was about testing their knowledge and how much they've grown. And then he talked about testing. But for me as a professor, it really jumped out that his goal was to help students learn how to learn. And this is going to help you build skills to help you learn how to learn, especially from technical material. A lot of you are going into technical majors, okay? And learning from technical writing like a textbook is just stuff you're going to have to get used to, and you may as well start learning those skills now. So, okay. Let me go through the assignment really fast, and then we'll take questions if we've got time. So, this is a lot for this. I'm scaring you, I know, right now, and say, hey, this is the assignment for next time. But it's actually not all for next time. Let me let me preface with this. Next time, I'm giving kind of a special lesson. It's going to be different than what we usually do. And I would really appreciate it if you focused on preparing and learning 1.2 for next time. Okay? So I'm going to push back the due dates for 1.1. So you should read 1.1 and you should read 1.1 and learn it enough so you can understand 1.2 if you don't have time to do all of this. Okay? But we'll push back the online homework due date for 1.1 if you want. But focus on reading the syllabus, register for the online homework system, read section 1.1. It's pretty basic, pretty easy, especially if you've those of you that have read it already know. It's not super complex. 1.2, it gets a little bit more technical and it's more stuff. Focus on making sure you have read the section, watched the pre-class video, and done the online homework for 1.2 before you come. Okay? Questions? Tyson? Oh, no, thanks for your question. Section 1.1 is the section in the textbook. So, yeah, thanks for that clarification. So, so when I say read 1.1, it's read the section in the textbook. So, yeah, good. I really wish we have a holiday next Monday, right? And so we have class on Monday, we have class on Wednesday, and then we don't have class again until the next Wednesday. I really wish I had class today and then we had a week, and then we could get kind of all this stuff caught up, and then we could go for Monday. Okay, any questions before we break? All right, have a great day. Thanks. You can take a picture of this if you want. We will post the slides too, but if you didn't get this.